And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're seeing the impact of Texas's ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. Dozens of University of Texas and Austin employees have been let go, fired, in compliance with the new law. Tuesday, the university president announced the school's division of campus and community engagement is being dissolved and its programs and funding transferred to other divisions. It's still unclear how many people will lose their jobs permanently, though those workers will reportedly be able to apply for existing opening positions at the university. They're back in May of 2023. Representative Nicole Collier challenged Representative Joe Comper, who wrote SB 17 about promises no one would be fired. Take a look.
There was a provision added in the House version that said that the existing staff, if their position is eliminated or their department is eliminated, they would be reassigned. And so now that has been pretty much gutted, because what the bill does now is says that they may provide a letter. It doesn't even say that they have to keep them.
That's correct.
So right now, so these 62 individuals.
Ms. Collier, I do, visiting with some of the institutions, do have confidence that these employees will be accommodated, but for the sake of working with the Senate, that's the language we came to, is to provide that letter of recommendation.
These employees will be accommodated. Governor Abbott has defended SB 17, saying DEI programs are often a political tool to push liberal philosophies. Joining us to talk about it, former president of the Brazoria County NAACP, Eugene Howard, Texas State Representative Jolanda Jones, and University of Houston downtown professor Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. So, Jolanda, you made sure we had that video.
I did.
What does that video state to individuals who may not figure out what's going on here?
So, for the record, I voted against this racist anti-black bill. I voted against it. And we were concerned because they were speaking out the side of their neck. The Republicans were saying, oh, and again, this really came from people, white people, who were complaining that they were being discriminated against because they were white. That's what this is about, so they wanted to get rid of DEI. We were concerned about people that worked in these departments. They said they wouldn't be fired. Nicole Collier specifically asked a question about, are the people going to be fired? They said no. We're going to move them to other areas, and now they're doing exactly what we knew that they were going to do. And it is offensive to me. It is anti-black, and I think that black parents shouldn't send their kids to any schools that don't have DEI. And let's see how the athletic programs go, right? Because the money gonna follow the really good athletic programs. But I'm really irritated, and I think black parents should send their black kids to HBCUs.
Dr. von Biedenfeld from the University of Houston downtown, what did they decide today? What happened today for the viewer who may not be following all of this?
Right, and this doesn't just begin here. So we can go back to 2023 at A&M when a president resigned based on the hiring of a New York Times editor because of the work that that editor did in race and inclusion.
A black editor.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so this idea, in anticipation of the January 1st implementation of SB 17, has been coming in the works. And Rice University, they had honorary admission into various Pride programs because as a private university, they don't accept that funding. But recognize that our government structures, boards of regents at universities, are appointed by the governor. And that means that governor appointees, state senate appointees need to get in line or go home. And at that risk, a lot of these individuals are interpreting, non-lawyers especially, in a legal context what this bill means. And so if it isn't in the policy expressly that says you will not be fired, guess what? I don't care what I said, what does the contract say? And the contract says no DEI offices. The contract says nothing that gives preferential treatment for people based on ethnicity. And so anything in that funding line where a university president, assistant president, deputy junior vice president says, I can use this funding somewhere else, the bill allows for this termination, despite whatever verbal or oral agreements came to the contrary. So when you're looking at these 60 employees, 60 plus employees going home, the reality is the university says we don't want to have to argue with the state, we don't want to have to lose our funding. Our board of regents, our board of governors, right, those shareholders, executives who are in charge of us said none of this.
All right, Eugene, let's hear from you, former president of the Brazoria County NAACP.
I think it's pretty egregious as we just saw in the video earlier, the Republicans are not acting in good faith. They knew exactly what culture war they were starting by attacking. This goes back, he said to 2013, this goes back to critical race theory. It goes back to any dog whistle that white America's fragility is threatened by. So we can't only want DEI on the football field, on the basketball court, on the baseball mound, on the soccer field. We have to embrace the culture, embrace what Texas is really about. And I agree with Representative Jones here. We should not send any black child, should not go to Texas, Texas A&M, Florida, any of these states that are attacking the black experience, attacking the very essence of who we are as a people, as a culture, as a society. Don't send your kids there. I'm a proud alumnus of Texas Southern University. Go to the Tigers, baby.
All right, in the last
let me
30
say this,
seconds
and
we have, how do you even address this in the next legislative session or before then? What can be done?
Well, so first of all, I think we need to challenge these things in court, and I respectfully disagree, because the reason why Rep. Collier asked the question specifically was to determine legislative intent. That's why we ask it, because when somebody sues in a lawsuit, they're going to go back to look at the legislative intent when there's a new law. This is a new law. They told us that this is not going to happen, and we put it on the record. We made sure we put it we made sure we captured it on that. We made sure we put it in the record, which we have to specifically do, so that we could tell people what we thought we were voting on. And it absolutely
they have to
matters.
act in good faith.
It absolutely matters.
Well, they don't have to.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us.